Hello, good evening, Karen. How are you?
Hi, teacher. Good evening. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Great. That's great, Karen. I'm fine as well. Thanks for asking. We're going to continue reading this article, please, Karen. Remember, we were learning about the brain. It means, or actually, in specific, what makes it different from other brains, right? I'm mainly talking about primates. So we got to read the introduction and the first paragraph on these lines. So let's continue with the two paragraphs over here, please, to try to continue understanding this. So that part, please, Karen.
Okay. Today we view the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex as the core component of human identity, but still we don't know what makes this unique in humans and distinguishes us from other primate species. Said Nenan Sestan, the Harvey and Kate Cushing Professor of Neuroscience at Yale, Professor of Comparative Medicine, of Genetics, and of Psychiatry, and the lead senior author of the paper. Now we have more clues. To answer this, the researchers first asked whether there are any cell types unequally present in humans or other analyzed non-human primate species. After grouping cells with similar expression profiles, they revealed 109 shared primate cells types, but also 5 that were not common to all species. This includes a type of microglia or brain-specific immune cell that was present only in humans, and a second type shared by only humans and chimpanzees.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Karen. So good. We're going to work these words in a moment. All right, the ones that are underlined are going to be just little details, and the ones that are like in a square or rectangle, they're going to be like some more important elements. Okay, but before that, and before any question, try to summarize, please, in your own words, only with the things that you can understand, Karen. What can you tell me about these two paragraphs in your own words?
In the first paragraph talks about that we don't know about the what makes unique or different, what make us different or unique and different from other species. It is something that professor said, and he also write, in this case, a paper maybe, and he put a name. Then the second paragraph talks about the answer of the question that in the first paragraph that the first paragraph made. Talk about cells, and talk about the specific cells that humans or that only humans have, and also talk about that we shared a specific cell with chimpanzees.
Very good. I think you have the main information and it was very well explained, Karen. Only one question to verify the last part. How many cells do we have that are different, that are unique to humans, according to this study?
Um, True. No. two. Well, yes.
Okay, we're going to see there's a part that explains that. It doesn't say that directly, but we can imply. Okay, we're going to verify. And I think that's it. Okay, because and also the one perhaps. Mm, all right. Yes. Yes, no, that's going to be something different. I'm going to show you where is this one. What I was telling you is here. If you read this part, it says after grouping cells with similar expression profiles, right, they revealed 109 shared primate cells types. So those 109 cells are similar between humans and primates, right? It can be chimpanzees, it can be any other primates that we have, but 109. But also five that were not common to all species, right? So perhaps those five are going to be unique. I don't know if it's going to be unique to human beings or unique to one species that is going to make one of those, all right, distinct from another one. Okay, so just that one in terms of understanding everything. But let's go now to some of these words, please, Karen. We're going to start with the underlined ones because they have only little details that are not good. This one is going to be the stress. How do you read this word one more time?
A component.
All right, so it's going to be instead of that one, you're going to put the stress here in the second O, like component, component. All right, component. What about this one? I think it was good at the end, but in order to reinforce, how do you read this word over here?
Um, distinct, distinguishes.
Yes, yes, it's good. Just a little bit. This is going to be more noticeable, like distinguishes, like you. All right, so it's okay. Distinguishes. One more time, please.
Distinguishes.
Good. This one, remember, this is going to be like A, so it's going to be primate.
A primate.
Good. And this one, the second, and actually, when you were reading, you were not using the sh, but when you explained your, when you were paraphrasing, you did. So it's better if you do it in that way. Okay, so species. Let's repeat that one, please.
A species.
Species, good. This word, how do you read it?
Psychiatry. No, psychiatry.
Close. This is going to be more like I, so it's going to be psychiatry. Psychiatry.
Psychiatry.
Psychiatry. Good. This also it's going to be, these are going to be important. This is uniquely.
Uniquely.
Exactly. Right. So this is unique and the adverb is uniquely. Good. This is revealed. Revealed.
Rebuilt.
Great. And this is microglia. Microglia.
Microglia.
Correct. Exactly. And this one, if you heard, it's going to be like E, so it's going to be chimpanzees.
Chimpanzees.
Good, very good. Okay, so that's it. Again, in general, I think the main idea or what these paragraphs are trying to convey, I believe that it's clear because we're not going to go to specifics because again, we're not experts in this field, perhaps, but on my side, I think we're good. Now, I might ask about some of these words, but do you have any questions before going to the next part, Karen?
Mm, no. Well, the words, for example, the microglia, these type of words, but I think that's are specific words of science.
Yes, correct. And actually, this word is exactly the same in Spanish. All right, but in Spanish is microglia, but it's exactly the same. All right, it's just as you can see here, this is the definition: a brain-specific immune cell. So it's a cell that it's in the brain that it's going to be in charge of protecting the neurons that you have. Okay, because in your brain and your spinal cord, you're going to have not only neurons, but you have microglia. And there are different types of microglia, okay? And some of them are going to feed to nourish the neurons. Some of them are going to protect the neurons because they are going to be like antibodies. All right, but they are specific to the neuron system. It's different the cells that you have in your body, right, and different the cells that you have in your brain. So that's going to be mainly microglia. All right, anything else, perhaps, Karen?
And no, I think.
Okay, good. Let's keep going. Again, I think the main part is clear. Let's take advantage because we have some time left, and we're going to read these next two elements, please, over here, Karen.
Okay, a human specific microglia type exists for its development and adulthood. The researchers found suggesting the cells play a role in maintenance of the brain upkeep rather than combating disease. We humans live in a very different environment with a unique lifestyle compared to other primate species, and glia cells, including microglia, are very sensitive to this difference. It says Chansey, the type of microglia found in the human brain might present an immune response to the environment.
Okay, thank you very much. This is shorter, but again, I know that we have a lot of words that are not going to be of our interest, but what we need to take into account is that it's important to understand at least the context so that even though we don't know about these cells or about the function that they have, we can understand the main idea that this is conveying, right? So before actually this time we're going to start with the words. Remember that this is going to be like I, so it's going to be microglia.
Ah, yes, microglia.
Okay, the microglia, good. This is a throughout. We're going to repeat that one as well, please.
Throughout.
Throughout, good. This is good, but be careful with the stress is development, like here, development.
Development.
Good. This also, the stress in the word is in adult. So it's going to be adulthood. Adulthood.
Adulthood.
Good. This is more like maintenance. Maintenance. Okay. You can omit that one.
Maintenance.
Maintenance. Okay. Good. The stress is in the first part, right? Maintenance. Good. Then this one, right? Remember, if it's a verb, it has to be pronounced differently. How do you read this word one more time? Here, remember, it is a verb.
Live.
Live. Good. It can be live, right? But the meaning is going to be different. This one, remember, it's plural. So how is this going to be?
Differences.
Differences. And this, just pay attention to the U. It's going to be like that. So it's going to be immune. Immune.
Immune.
Immune, exactly. Immune response. Good. So again, now let's try to explain the first kind. First with your own words, and then we're going to see some specific words. What can you tell me about these two paragraphs to finish?
Okay, well, the first part talks about this specific cell, microglia, and how this cell develop itself, yes, itself, and with this cell, teacher, before, what's the meaning of upkeep?
Upkeep means like in good condition or in a good state.
Okay. okay, this cell has a role and maintain in a good condition. Uh, I don't know if maintain in a good condition or body or these cells help to combat different disease. Then in the second paragraph talks about that humans live in different conditions or different environments, and these different type of or styles of life. Well, uh, 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 this cell microglia develop has a different development. Um, we and this I think.
Yes, yes. Again, it's good because if you go deeper, we need to, well, all right, again, we need to be like into this field, into the brain, to know more details about that, right? And that's not the purpose here. So what you're telling me, it's, I think, more than enough, Karen. You're right. We're talking about microglia, the function that it has related to the brain, right? That here, as I told you, right, it's related to immune cells because they protect the brain. But they are also saying in this study that rather than combating disease, right, because that's the function of immune cells, they are going to be maintaining the brain in a good condition, right? So because of this microglia, your brain is going to work properly, right? And again, as I was telling you, right, they are going to feed your neurons. They are going to give everything that your brain needs to work correctly, right? And in a normal way. So the only thing they are saying is that because we are in a different environment, right? We live in cities. We don't live in the woods anymore, right? We don't live out in the wildness, right? We live in cities, in places that are built by us, and because of that, right, our cells, brain cells, they developed differently, right? And I think that that's the only thing they are going to try to say here, because we have different context than our primates, right, related species. And that's why these glia cells or the microglia are going to be sensitive to these differences. And because of that, we have specific cells, right, that are not present in, for example, other primates, right? And to me, at least, that's the main thing that we should know here. And I think that you got it. So to me, it's clear. But I want to now, before finishing, Karen, to ask you if you have any questions about some of these words or expressions.
Teacher, what's the meaning of thought? It's
Okay, yes, yes, actually, yes, you're making me notice this. I corrected that one, but it's incorrect because I read it incorrectly. No, no, actually, no, it's not thorough. Okay, it's going to be more like throughout.
ah
Okay, throughout. Uh-huh. Because thorough, it's also a word, Karen, and I thought I was reading incorrectly. Thorough means analyze in detail. Okay, but that's another word. Thoroughly, for example, analyze in detail. But throughout means that it was following the entire process. Okay, for example, when you say that throughout the pandemic, Karen, you were analyzing your life and your situation, it means that during the pandemic, you were doing that. Okay, so throughout in that sense can be during something or that followed, all right, the period of time that something lasted. All right, also throughout can be when something goes inside something else. All right, for example, if you're driving a car, you can go throughout a tunnel. Okay, so you go throughout that tunnel. Okay, you are going to traverse that. That's similar to Spanish, right? Traverse. So that's all right. But in this case, throughout means that it happened at the same time that something else was happening, that it happened during something else. All right. So here, in other words, these microglia, right, types exist during the development and adulthood. So that one. What else? Any other questions or doubts?
no, no.
There you go. Great. So again, the idea here, we're going to finish here with this article. We're going to look for a different one in the next conversation. But one more time, the main idea is try to get used to understanding this type of more complex, could be in a certain way more complex articles to try to get used to these words. Okay, just that one, Karen. So to finish, I'm sending the survey as I always do. You should be able to see it now. And
Yes.
once you finish that one, then it's done. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow for our next class.
Okay, teacher. Thank you, teacher. Have a good night and see you tomorrow.
You
Bye.
too. Bye bye. Thank you. Bye. Hello, good evening,
Hello.
Michaela. How are you?
Fine, teacher. Thank you.
Great. That's great to know. So let's keep working, please. If you remember, we were taking a look at this article and we're starting
Mm,
reading the first paragraphs. And if I'm not wrong, we got to read up to the third one, but let me verify. Were we able to read also this paragraph with you, Michaela? These individuals were better planning up to this part or only until this part? What do you remember?
I, I I think only to the
Until
first
here.
paragraph, until the first paragraph, only 22%.
Okay, good. Good. This one, yeah. All right. So let's continue reading these two paragraphs over here. All right. Remember, we're talking about financial stability, but in the sense of the knowledge that you have, right? If you don't
Okay.
have knowledge about it, you're going to have some problems. And here they are going to try to understand why it happens. So let's read these two paragraphs, please.
Okay. Um, these individuals were better at planning and managing their finances, had checking or saving accounts in mainstream banks, and were less likely to use costly alternative financial services such as payday lenders. They also were more likely to be white males who were employed and college educated, according to the study. Sina and co-authors Devin Tan and Min San, both social work professor at the U of I, examine the financial attributes and behavioral patterns of emerging adults. Based on these characteristics, the researchers classified them into four groups: financially precarious, at risk, thriving, or stable.
Great. Thank you very much. Now, before going to those words, again, try to paraphrase what you read, please, Michaela. What can you tell me about these two paragraphs in your own words?
Um, uh, based on the study, they can classify the young people in four groups. Um, um, I think most of the of most of the stable group are well employed and have education.
Now, I agree with you. I think it's great. Now, if I ask you for characteristics, what is a characteristic that these people who are financially educated have? Mainly in the first paragraph, we have some characteristics of some things that they do because they know about finance in a certain way. So, what are those
Well,
things that they do?
they have bank accounts. They use like official banks and well the main characteristic is they have education, financial education, I think.
Very good. And as you said, right? So you can include that one. The characteristics are that they are employed, they have education, so college education, it means university, right? That you said very well. They have checking or saving accounts, right, in mainstream banks. Yes, you can call them official, but not only official, but the banks that are very well known, right? And that, of course, everybody in the city is going to be using those ones. And also this one, right? It's like the opposite. Of course, it's like a result directly from the first one, but they are not going to use other financial services as payday lenders, right? That it's going to be like a way to get money when you don't have the money, but you're going to pay a lot of interest if you use those unofficial, you can call them, right? Ways of getting money or borrow money. So good, those are the characteristics. Now let's get to these words and then we're going to try to use some of them. The pronunciation of this one, how do you read this word one more time?
These individuals.
In this case, it's going to be very similar to the singular. Remember, the singular is THIS. This is the same, just put a little bit more emphasis in the TH. So it's going to be these, these,
Of this.
these, exactly. Okay, these individuals. Then, and also remember, when you have the consonants, it's better different to Spanish. It's going to be only individuals, right? But here it has to be more like, let's say, exploding. Let's say it's going to be more like individuals, like sh. So let's repeat also this word, please. Individuals.
Individuals.
Individuals. More like sh. Individuals. This one, let's read this word, please.
Managing.
Okay, yes, I think it's better. The first time the stress was in
Managing
the
is correct.
yes, because the first part that you read it, the stress was in a different place. But yes, the stress has to be in the first part. Managing, managing. The only thing, try to change that a little bit more like to a. Management, managing, managing. One more time, please.
Managing.
Good.
Managing.
Managing. Great. It's between a and a, right? It's not a, it's not a, it's between those two, right? Like manage. This one, when you have a and u together, is going to be o. All right. So this is o, and the th is th. So it's going to be authors. Authors. Let's repeat that one, please.
Authors.
Authors. Like even, the th is between like a very soft t and like a z. So authors. One more time, please. Very subtle, the th.
Authors.
Authors. And don't say O, that's going to be incorrect. Only one O. Authors.
Authors.
Authors. This is examined. Examined.
Examined.
Good. How do you read this word? It's one part is here and the next part is here.
On these characteristics.
Correct. Characteristics. It's correct. And this is going to be striving, like I. Okay, let's repeat that one, please. Good.
Striving.
Very good. Now, here, I'm going to ask just one question, but before, I want to know if you have any questions.
It's okay to me.
Good. Now, again, this perhaps is not going to be like easy to explain, because I know because of the context is clear, but I want to try to get these words, okay? Because this is part of the classification, right? Financially precarious, at risk, striving, unstable, right? This is the worst and this is the best, right? But what is a striving? How can you explain striving?
Striving is like they are it's like they are doing the better as they can, maybe.
Good, great. I think that's a really great explanation. Just instead of the better, is better if you say the best. Okay, they are doing the best that they can.
Okay.
Good.
That they can. Okay.
Correct. Very good. Exactly. Right. They are fighting. They are doing their best to get what they want, or in this case, to be right economically or financially stable. Right. So good. Very good. So I think we're good with that one. We still have the time, so we're going to take advantage of that, please, Michaela. We're going to still read these next two paragraphs, please.
Okay. I can know. Okay. About 36% of the people in the study were deemed to be financially at risk because they had experienced a significant unexpected drop in income during the prior year. They reportedly had no saving with which to pay their living expense for 3 months if need, and say they lacked the resource to come up with $2,000 in the event of an emergency. The
Very
two
good.
paragraph.
Yes, please. Also the next one, please.
Oh, okay. The financially precarious group, which composed 32% of the sample, had the poorest actual and perceived financial literacy, seen as safe, because they lacked access to mainstream financial institutions. They were frequent users of alternative financial service, which tend to share high interest rate and fees.
Good. Okay, here we have very interesting words. I'm sure that you know them. If not, we're going to try to understand them. And again, first, very shortly, how can you explain these two paragraphs shortly, Michaela?
Where in the paragraph are talking about the groups of the study, the people in financial risk and people and the people of the precarious group. So we have two group of people, two description of characteristic.
Great. I think that's a great summary because we are only describing two groups, right? Great. Now, directly to the words and then some specific related words. This word, the first time it was with a mistake, but the second time you read it correctly. Read this word one more time, please, just to verify.
Percent?
Just the stress is going to be in the second part, right? Like percent.
Percent.
Good,
Okay.
very good. And this word, remember the ed. How do you read this word one more time?
Dimmed.
Dimmed, exactly. Just a little bit more emphasis as you did now, and it's perfect. Dimmed. Also remember this one you were explaining. This is this word. How do you read this word, Michaela? This one over here.
Financial.
Financial. Good. Good. Just be careful when you read the word as you were explaining. You say financial, right? But it's always going to be fine. What about this one? This word. It's the first part is here and the second part is here.
Is unexpected.
And remember that the u, very few times the u in English is going to be u. Most of the times it's going to be eu or a. So here it's a. So it's unexpected.
Unexpected.
Good.
Okay, unexpected.
Very good. This word.
Prior.
Prior, great. This one, following the rule of the ed.
Lacked.
Lacked, great. This word, the first part here, second here.
Literacy.
Great, exactly. Just be careful again because the first time you use the stress in a different part, but as you did now in the first part, right? Literacy. Literacy, it's correct. Very good. This word.
Frequent.
You're only changing the vowel. This is going to be E, so it's going to be frequent.
Oh, frequent.
Frequent, exactly. And this one?
Church.
All right, yes. Here, this is one of the exceptions, right? Because usually we should say the but here we're only going to, sorry, the A as you are doing. But this is going to be more like an open okay, because of phonetics. So it's going to be charge. More
charge.
like charge, exactly, right? When you charge, it means that you are going to collect money because of certain reasons. Here, because of the interest rates or the fees that you pay to a professional because of his or her services, right? So good. I don't know if you have any questions about these words to be finishing now, Michaela. Let me know, please.
It's okay to me, teacher.
Okay, that's great. Very good. Again, perhaps here we're not having a lot of new or interesting words. I believe it seems to be very simple, but it's for practicing mainly reading to have a relationship with a field that can be of your interest. But we're going to try to look today. We're finishing with this. It means we're not going to continue with this article. If you are interested in continuing, remember that everything is available for you on Google Classroom. Okay, so you can go there and finish reading the article. But next week we're going to have a different one, and we're going to see if we have something interesting. All right, but that's it on my side, Michaela. Down below you have the survey, please. Let's answer those questions and let me know when you do it.
Okay, I did it, teacher.
Thank you very much. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. See you. Okay, now working with you, Lucia. Good evening. How are you? How do you feel today?
Good evening, Professor. Good. Thank you so
Great.
much.
That's great to know, Lucia. So let's keep working, please, with our article. This is going to be the second and the last time because, again, we're going to try to work one document per week. And we were learning about the brain, right, and the differences that we have in comparison to other brains, mainly talking about primates, right? And we were talking about specific regions and things that can make it different. If I'm not wrong, we got to read until this part. Is that correct? Or did we read also this one, Lucia? I believe it was until here, but let me remember, please.
Yeah, no, just until monkeys.
Right? Good. So let's continue, please. Again, we're going to keep learning. Here we have some interesting results, and we have more words related to this topic. So let's read those two paragraphs, please.
Okay. Today, we view the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex as the core component of human identity. But still, we don't know what makes this unique in humans and distinguish us from other primate species. Said Nina Sistan, De Harvey, and Kate Cashin, professor of neuroscience at Yale, professor of comparative medicines of genetics, psychiatry, and the lead senior author of the paper. Now we have more clues. To answer these, the researchers first ask whether there are any cell types uniquely present in humans or other analyzes non-human primate species. After growing cells with similar expressions profile, they reveal 109 shared primate cell types, but also 5 that were not common to all species. This included a type of microglia, or brain-specific immune cell that was present only in humans, and a second type shared by only humans and chimpanzees.
Very good, great. I think it's great. Before going to those little details, let's try to explain, please, Lucia, how can you summarize these two paragraphs?
Yeah, that like in the first paragraph, they made a research of the dorsolateral prefrontal and find more like human characters in that way, and with the scientific analysis from neuroscientists and with psychiatry and yeah, so they are trying to discover more, I don't know, more characters in that way. And in the second is that, yeah, they explain that about the the comparison between the 109 cells types that they found, and they went to for me it's like a clue to feed on, yeah, something like that.
Okay, good, great, right? To go deeper again, we should be experts discussing right into this field. But I think with what we got and the main idea that they are transmitting and the purpose of this right reading exercise is just getting the main idea, and I believe that it's there. All right, so we're just going to see some words besides the words that are over there. We're going to try to use some other words to again practice a little bit. But let's go first to the superficial part. Lucia, this word, how do you read it one more time, please?
Distinguish, or yeah.
Good, it's distinguished, but as this is conjugated now in third person, how is this going to be? Distinguishes, exactly. So distinguish is the base form, but the conjugation in third person, it's going to be like AS at the end. Good. And this one, let's repeat one more time, please. It's going to be like psychiatry.
Psychiatry.
Good. This, remember that the words, or sorry, the letters, when the A and the U are together, they become O, right? Okay. And the TH is very subtle. So it's going to be author, right? Author. Let's repeat that one.
I didn't know. I thought that author is this type, like author together without. It's possible.
Yes.
Because I saw also.
You're telling me because of this dash?
Yeah.
No, I think they are using that just because they are dividing, right? One part of the word here and the next one down below. But yes, right? It doesn't have the dash. Okay, yes, they are together. Okay, good. So then this one, just taking into account that it's going to be conjugated in past, how is it going to be?
Reveal it.
Close, but remember the it only when you have a D or a T. Here only going to be T. So it's going to be revealed. Revealed.
Okay. But teacher, which is the difference with reveal? With revealed?
The difference, I don't get it. The difference in pronunciation of the words, or no? If you say reveal it again, if you make the E more noticeable, it's not going to be different. It's just not going to be that correct in terms of phonetics. Okay, in terms of following the rules. But that's the only difference. The reveal, to reveal is the same that say revealed. Again, I'm just correcting in this case the finishing part, the ending, because in the way you read it the first time, the ed was not clear, and in the second time the e was too noticeable. So my only correction is that the e shouldn't be too noticeable. As you have an L, it only should be a T sound. Okay, that's the only thing, because the difference again is just how you're pronouncing the ed at the end. But you have an L and you make the E too noticeable, it's just going to be not that correct in that sense. Okay, that's the only thing that I'm remarking, and that's the only difference that I'm also showing, Lucia.
Thank you, Professor.
All right. Okay.
Professor, and I have a question with the word. It's primates or primates?
Again, it can change. As many words, you're going to see that you're going to find many types of variations. I heard both, okay, primates and primates, but what I've been listening more often, it's primates. So that's usually the one that I use. But again, as many of the words, for example, here, identity is good, also identity, because it depends on the accent that you're taking into account, if it's American or British, all right? So again, the one that at least I'm more used to, it's primate, okay, like primate. But again, there might be some variations, as with many of the words in English. If you remember one of the classes that we had, we have a lot of variations, and again, it varies according to the region or the accent that you have. But to me, both are okay, but the first one, again, primate, is going to be more common, just that one. All right?
All right.
So let's now try to use some of these words. First, some verbs, and perhaps then some of those words. What about distinguish? You can use distinguishes, but the base form, all right? And you can conjugate that if you need. How can you use the verb distinguish in any sentence, for example, that you have in mind, Lucia?
For example, you should distinguish the proper ingredients for your receipt.
Okay, good. Yes, distinguish the proper ingredients. Yes, I think that's a valid example. Correct. Let's go now to another word that, where's my mouse? Okay, over here. And it's going to be this word over here, please. Okay, this one, immune. Again, in any sentence or idea that comes to your
Mm, okay, you should take vitamins to protect your immune system.
Okay, good, good. I think that's working great. And only one more that I don't find it here, but I'm sure. Okay, this one, just profile. Again, if you want, you can use it in plural, right? Profiles, but only profile.
In different meanings?
Yes, you can use the similar meaning that you have here, or you can use a valid meaning that works with profile. Any of the possible meanings.
Okay. That paint has Armando profile in the black and white technique.
Okay, all right, good. That's an interesting possible meaning that you can use for that one. So I think it was great. All right, I have no more questions or requirements over here. We're going to go to read one more part, I believe. No, let me know. Yes, no, I believe. What time you started, Lucia? I'm lost in time now. You
We
entered. Yeah,
sorry,
tell me, please.
I do the appointment for 10, but maybe we start 10 plus 2. No, I don't remember.
Okay. No, it's good. Yes, I got lost in time for a moment. Sorry, it's just because the previous person didn't join the conversation and I got lost. All right. So let's keep going, please. Again, actually, I want to know if you have any questions about these two paragraphs before reading just a couple more.
No, it is okay. Obviously, it's so heavy, but I think also it's heavy in Spanish as well because our science and our
Yes.
more specific topics, right? That's why.
Correct. Exactly. No, and it's good because we have to get used to this. And I think that you can handle this information very well because of the level that you got. But again, the idea for practicing this type of or with this type of articles, it's again getting used to see words that perhaps are not going to be 100% clear for us. But even though, right, we have that limitation where we are able to understand the main idea and even the details about that article, right? And I think it's working like that. So it's great. So these two short paragraphs, please, to finish now, Lucia.
Okay. The human-specific microglia type exists throughout development and adulthood. The researchers found suggesting the cells play a role in maintenance of the brain upkeep rather than combating disease. We humans live in a very different environment with a unique lifestyle compared to other primate species. And glia cells, including microglia, are very sensitive to these differences. Seston said the type of microglia found in the human brain might represent an immune response to the environment.
Okay, good. They are short. So again, first of all, how can you summarize briefly these or what these two paragraphs try to say?
It's more about the like the process or the causes of microglia, and also the comparisons and the main causes that produce that with the
Good.
cells. Right?
Great. Now, if I ask you a question, imagine that this is going to be part of a test, all right? And again, it doesn't matter if it's correct or incorrect, but it's a way of practicing. If I ask you just using these two paragraphs over here, what is that possible element then that it's going to be unique in human beings or to human beings, talking about the brain?
Mm, a unique lifestyle. A unique lifestyle. I don't know. Is it good?
It's related to that. That's going to be what it's going to cause the production of this unique element. But again, only talking about the brain, what is that element in the brain that is going to be uniquely produced because of that unique way of living that we have?
Glia cells and microglia.
Exactly. A type of microglia, correct. Right? So we can say that one of those things that are going to make our brains different from other brains is the type of microglia that is going to be developed due to the differences in the environment. Right here it says, right, the type of microglia found in the human brain might represent an immune response to the environment. Why? Because it is very sensitive, right? Are very sensitive to these differences. So perhaps again, because of the way of living that we have, because we don't live in nature anymore, right? All animals, right? Everything that is around us is still like we're living in nature, of course, except for dogs and cats and domestic animals that we are, right, getting to our side. But they are not perhaps exposed to these differences, and they are still living, right, in the way they lived in nature. But we changed a lot, right? So yes, the answer would be a type of microglia. We don't know exactly what type, but we know that it's a type, right? So good. Now, these words, please remember that this is a very confusing word sometimes because the stress is going to be in the second part, adult. So it's going to be instead of adulthood, it's going to be adulthood. Adulthood. Let's repeat that one, please.
Adulthood.
Good. This, it's also a weird word. The stress is in the first part. Maintenance. Maintenance. And can you correct, exactly. You can often omit this part, right? Maintenance. Good. And this one again, just take into account one more time the ed, and remember you don't have a t or a d, so it's only going to be like t.
Compared.
Compared, exactly. That's it. On my side, that's it. I think everything else is clear according to what you explained to me, but I want to know if you have any last questions before finishing, Lucia.
No, everything is clear. Thank you, Professor. I have just like maybe more extra question. That is maybe if you know, do you live in Cochabamba, teacher? Sorry for the question.
Yes, currently I'm in Cochabamba. I'm studying here.
Yeah, I have a question. Do you know a specific place who make official translations for documents that you can recommend me?
Yes, the only one, because I know that it's official, it will be go to the university, go to San Simon University, go
Linguistic.
to linguistics. They are going to be the ones that are going to give you like official translations.
Okay. Oh, but just from San Simon, right? Because uh, I know that, for example, Catholic University did, but I don't know if they are official.
Yes, actually, I don't know either. I've been only in contact with San Simon, so I cannot tell you about other universities. Lucia, the one that I know that it's for sure, it's San Simon. Perhaps UPB, but I don't know if UPB will works with translation also in a formal way. Again, San Simon is the one that for sure I can tell you. The other ones, it's something that perhaps you have to find out on your way.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, good. No, you're welcome. So please, as always, the survey is down below. Lucia, let's answer to those questions. And thanks for being here. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow in class.
Okay, Professor. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.